Ariel and I'm here with Skully Designs for our 365-day project. We're on day 20 and I saw these adorable Wicked Witch bookmarks. I thought I could make one of those and I know my friend Michelle will just love them. So let me show you what we're going to need. For this project, you're going to need a metal bookmark, and since I couldn't find any locally, I thought I'd make my own. So I just got a piece of this aluminum. It comes in a small roll for like $5–6, and I thought I'll be able to make a bunch of them. Since I'm using aluminum, I needed some snip aluminum cutting scissors, which I also got at the hardware store. Need a marker to mark it so you know where to cut. Some nice polymer clay. I'm just using Sculpey clay, which you will need to bake in the oven. So if you get this, you'll need an oven. This clay is kind of hard to work with. It's hard to soften it up. So if you can find something else that's fast drying that will hold, that's a polymer clay, I would go with that. A hole punch if you decide that you want yours to have a hanger. I don't know that I'm going to use that. A marker if you want to write a quote. I don't know, some famous quote for some movie maybe on your bookmark. You'll want that. Some fast hard drying glue. I have E6000 here, which does take overnight usually to dry, or a couple hours for it to dry well, but I like it because it bonds really well. Some binding tape. Since I am cutting my own aluminum, the edges can get kind of sharp. So I have some fabric binding tape that I use to glue around the edges of my bookmark just to prevent from getting hurt. A paintbrush, and mine has definitely seen better days. Then I have some paints. I have a red, a black. I should have a white, but I don't have any. And I'm also using this purple glitter nail polish to give my witch's feet some nice sparkle. A ruler to help cut and measure my aluminum. And then I just have a piece of paper that I'm going to use as a workspace so I don't get everything messy. Also, I'll be using probably a cup of water and just a rag to clean off my paintbrush. So let me get this moved out of the way and we'll get started. Okay, I'm going to start with my aluminum. So I have it rubber banded, and watch out when you open it. The edges can be sharp, so you want to be careful. And whoosh! There it goes across the room. So this one has a sticker on the side, so I'm going to use this side. And what I'm going to do is just use my ruler. That whole piece has gone wild. And I'm going to line up 2 inches there. And I'm going to take my marker. This is just a little kid's marker that I'll wash away. And mark a 2-inch line going across the metal. And then I'm going to take my snippers, unlock the safety. And I'm just going to whoosh, I'm going to watch the aluminum fly. Now, I'm going to, and it's loud. I'm going to take my aluminum piece, battle it, and I'm just going to cut along that line that I made. And they're just like regular scissors, only they cut aluminum. And then I'm just going to let the aluminum fly out of sight. Make sure to put my safety back on. And there we have a nice bookmark shape, which will be perfect. Now you do want to be careful because, like I said, the edges are sharp and you don't want to cut yourself. So that's the first step. For now, we're just going to put this aside. And we are going to get our Sculpey clay ready for the next step. I have my polymer clay, and mine comes in this little package, and it's got lines. So I've taken 2 lines basically off to use, and I made it into a ball. The more you roll it and soften it up, the easier it is to work with. You can also put it under some hot water just for a few seconds to help soften it up, or even make it into a ball and use a hair dryer. But it's still kind of hard to use. So if you can find something that's easier to use, I would do that. Anyway, I made mine into a ball. I've kind of softened it up a bit, and I'm going to start by making the legs. So I'm just going to tear a piece off and just roll it to a size that I would want that would make a nice little leg. And then I'm going to make another one. And you can smooth it out as you go and mess with it. This will probably be the hardest part of your project, is just getting your legs and shoes just right on how you want them. So this one, and then you'll see there's some bumps. Now, a witch's legs have a few bumps and gashes, so it definitely doesn't have to be perfect. You don't want model little legs. So I just have these little bumpy. I do smooth it out a little so they're not so hard, but really just two little tubers. I think this side has like a lumpy knee type look, so I might even use that side as my front. And I'm going to put those aside, and then you have leftover, which I'm going to break in half, and I'm going to make my shoes. So I'm going to make another ball again to make my shoes. And what I do is I have my ball. I'm going to just take my thumb and forefinger and squish it so I get a nice oval type shape. And then I'm going to pinch the end of it to kind of make the tip of my shoe, so that I have a little canoe type shape, kind of, but with the top pinched. And then I'm going to take the bottom and pinch both directions so that I make like the heel of a shoe. And I'm just going to keep playing with that and pinching both ways until I kind of get a shoe shape. See how easy that was? And then I'm going to put my finger in the middle and make a place where the foot would go. And you're going to have to probably play with this a lot to get it right, because you may lose your shoe shape as you're putting your feet in or while you're pinching other areas. So just take your time and pinch away. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, this is a witch we're talking about. Once you get your shoe kind of shaped, I then curve the front of my shoe over a bit to give it that. But then I'm going to put my leg, one of my legs in the shoe. And there's still kind of a gap there, so I'll try to smooth and get it connected as much as possible. I will take another piece of clay, and you may need more, so you got your thing nearby. But I make another small flat circle like, and this is going to be the front of my shoe, so it's going to be like the flap in front of my shoe. So like, just like so. And I'll put up a close-up picture so you can see also. But basically, getting your shoe and your leg exactly how you want it is the first and probably the hardest part of doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and play with these a little bit and get mine together, and then I'll be back. Once you have legs and shoes how you want, these are mine, I don't know if you can see them or not, then you're going to take your metal bookmark, and there are two ways to do this. You can actually do the way I'm going to do right now, or you can do them individually. So let me explain. My polymer clay needs to be baked in the oven. So I can bake these by themselves as is, or what I like to do is I put them directly onto my bookmark and just bake it with it on the bookmark. So they may still fall off, in which case I have the slits and it'll be easier for me to just glue in later. It's up to you how you want to do it. I just think it's easier to bake with it on. I don't have to worry about gluing right away unless they tend to come loose after the fact. Also, you can put your legs on in different positions if you want them separate, going in different directions, however you want. I like to put mine kind of together first and smooth them out a little bit together. It just, to me, it gives it more stability. So I'm kind of just squeezing the clay together, and then at the end slit of the bookmark I'm going to center it, and I'm just going to squeeze the clay in, and then I'm going to push it down against the aluminum, so it's like that. And then you can adjust them how you want. So that's how this pear is going to be for me. I don't want it to fall off since it's not baked on yet. And I'm going to cook this at 275 degrees for 15 minutes because that's what my polymer clay requires. You can do yours depending on how your clay is. So let me go ahead and bake this, and I'll be back. Okay, I've just taken mine out of the oven. You want to let it cool off for a little bit, but thankfully aluminum dries really quick, and you can see the front and the back. It's pretty cool. Now what we're going to do is paint them. So you're going to take your black and white paint, and this one I've already started, and you're going to make the stockings, and then with the shoes you're going to paint your red paint, and once that dries you're going to put your red or purple glitter polish over to give those shoes a nice ruby red look. Isn't that adorable? Now what I'm also going to do, since the metal is kind of sharp and I don't want anybody screaming, I'm going to take that fabric binding, and I am just going to, with the E6000, you can use a hot glue gun, whatever you want, I am going to take the binding and glue it all the way around the edges. Now I still have to paint my back also. I painted the front first, and now that it's dry I can go ahead and paint the back. And I will also probably get some white paint, since I didn't have any, and touch up my black straight marks since they weren't the straightest. So let me go ahead and glue my binding on now to show you, and we're just about done. I've gone ahead and put my binding on. I'm not sure that I like the binding or not, and I've glued everything in place just to make sure it's nice and secure. Now if you want, you can take a hole punch and punch a hole in and put a little ribbon or embroidery thread for a hanger, but otherwise your bookmark's done. I still have to touch up my paint, but I'm liking it. So thank you for joining Skully Designs in our 365-day project. We hope you'll tune in tomorrow and subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our Facebook page.